The way.
I am losing patience, Captain.
And you consider yourself a disciple of Plato?
We managed to live in peace and harmony.
Whose harmony? Yours? Plato wanted truth and beauty, and above all, justice.
Plato's Stepchildren is the episode that Kirk and Uhura are being forced by these people on this planet who have kinetic powers to entertain them in this sort of Roman decadent arena by making love. And our part was to kiss, to embrace and kiss, and wherever else they were going to take that, one doesn't know.
I'm so frightened, Captain. I'm so very frightened.
And so when the kiss came along, I saw it says, Kirk kisses, takes her in his arm and kisses her. I kept waiting for every rewrite, and it still was there all the way until the last day and the last scene, which is when we were shooting this. And we play the scene. Oh, Captain, they are making me afraid. Blah, 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 blah. These, don't be afraid. And then finally, we kiss. Cut! I hear from the director, and he comes up to Shatner, and he says, "What are you doing?" And Bill said, "What do you mean, what am I doing?" And he's looking at me like I'm not there. You know, if he gives eyes signals, he'll understand. So what do you mean? And he said, you know, he said, "You kissed Nichelle." And he said, "Yeah." It's right there in the script. He says, "Kirk, that's me. Uhura, that's her." Takes her in his arms, and we fight it until we can't help it anymore, and we kiss. He says, otherwise the scene doesn't mean anything.
I wish I could stop trembling.
Try not to think of them.
Well, anyway, the next thing, I went to my dressing room, and I said, "You guys settle it, I don't care." And next thing, we know the suits are down there from the front office and from NBC, and Gene Roddenberry has come down there, all in a huddle talking. And this is an example of the brilliance of Gene Roddenberry. Gene listened, and he said to his director, "Yes, I see what you mean." And then he talked with the suits, and they said, well, what are we going to do? Bill is going, "Why do we do anything except what's in the script?" I'm waiting. Go back to my dressing room, come back out, and I find out that Gene Roddenberry has said, "Shoot it both ways. And we'll decide tomorrow in dailies."
And now they're making me tremble. But I'm not afraid. I am not afraid.
The director's off the hook. The suits say, "Great." We sit down to do it both ways. Bill says, "Let's do it with the kiss first." Director says, "Okay." We do it. Then Bill takes me, he kisses me. And he says, "Fine, let's do the other without the kiss." Bill goes, "But wait a minute. I just feel like if we're going to do one or the other, I think I should fight this more, and then when we kiss..." But he says, "Okay, let's do it." Well, this goes on for about a half hour. We got a lot of kisses in. By this time, I'm cracking up inside because I think I know what Bill is doing. He finally, the AD says, "We got about 6 more minutes to get the final shot before we go into overtime, and it's on a Friday. We cannot do that." And Bill said, "Oh," he says, "Bill, we've got to get the one without the kiss." Bill said, "Oh, why didn't you say so? I'm sorry." So we do it, we get to the one, and Bill takes me, instead of this way, he takes me and he leans me down into the camera, and he leans down and we're fighting, and he doesn't kiss me, he looks up into the camera. He crossed his eyes. The director didn't see it. He was so happy, he says, cut, and that's a wrap. Nobody saw it until the next day in dailies. There was this silence. And finally, there was a yuck from the suits, and they stood up, and everybody was holding their breath to try to keep from laughing like crazy. Obviously, you could not use that. And the suits got up and said, let's go with the kiss, and the heck with what the South has to say. And that, to their credit, that became the first interracial kiss on television. To their credit, they let it go. The response was incredible. We had the largest amount of fan mail that we had ever had on the show before or after. And almost all of it was positive. To this day, Bill goes, did I do that? I said, yeah, Bill. Yeah, did you do that? Remember 36 takes with the kiss?